In my list of things that I do, I substitute teach, and I've had the good fortune of standing in for the art teacher for 4 days. So that means that I just have to entertain different groups of kids all day long. I don't have to try to entertain the same group of kids all day and keep them on track. I get them at like between half an hour and an hour clip at a time. Would you like to see what I'm having them do? I know that our teacher, she's a lovely woman, but I don't think she wants me to get into her like awesome materials back there. There are quite a few materials there, but I thought, how can I circumvent this rule? How about we make our own pigments? So that's what we've done. I've made pigments out of things that I found in the kitchen. Wow, it's been a long 4 days of working with these kids, so I'll finish the video now. They seem to like what I had set up for them, but only marginally more than free art day, where they get to draw whatever they want, whenever they want. So. For the younger kids, grades K through 3, I made finger paint out of pumpkin puree, added a ton of salt so that it wouldn't mold or like fungal infect, because nothing really grows in salt. And I also added a healthy dose of cinnamon and glue as a binder so it sticks to the paper. So I made a finger paint that looks and feels and smells a whole lot like pumpkin pie filling, and then made puffy paint out of shaving cream and white glue. So at the end, it looks like you've painted with a slice of pumpkin pie with whipped cream on top. For 4th, 5th, and 6th grade, I made a dye out of red cabbage. The cabbage is called red cabbage. It's actually purple, and it boils up to a blue dye, which kind of develops into a purple. But here's where the chem lab kicks in. Red cabbage is a pH indicator. Depending on what you add to that red cabbage, it turns different colors. So this is the original color. This is if you add baking soda. This is if you add vinegar. Look at those great colors. And this is an example I made for them to see just what they can do if they smear the colors around. And then the black is made out of charcoal. For the black pigment, I pulverized charcoal and mixed it with a binder of white school glue and xanthan gum in water. There's a mushroom that I made with the different colors that the cabbage water makes. There's another little scene I made. We learned that one of the really cool parts, but also the really frustrating part of making your own pigment out of things at home, is that it fades and ages in a way that you can't always predict or expect. So you have to be really open-minded when you use them. For example, my turtle. Remember when we were in lockdown, there weren't many places to go and people weren't going many places and stuff. Some people were learning a new skill, like some people were learning how to build a wall out of the rocks that they dug out of their yard, or just learned how to bake bread. I wanted to make my own artwork out of pigments that I made at home. And so this is a turtle that I did. That's my quarantine art. The brown was made from rusty railroad spikes, the yellow is turmeric from the spice cabinet, and actually this pink, I'm pretty sure, came from the same pigment that made the sky bluish greenish, which is hibiscus tea. There must have been something on my paintbrush or something in the paint that kept the pink a lot stronger here than it was in the sky. But if you look carefully, you can still see traces of the pink hibiscus tea in the sky that faded to that like blue, gray, green color. And it develops the darkness and the brightness over time. So the pictures that these kids are going to be getting back aren't exactly going to look the same as when they left them. Then they'll fade again in the sunlight. It's kind of fun to watch the homemade pigments look like after they've been exposed to the air and everything in it and the UV radiation. That's under UV glass now, so it shouldn't fade anymore. The younger kids got finger paint made from pumpkin puree and a bunch of cinnamon and clove. And yes, I had to tell them not to eat it because it smells exactly like pumpkin pie filling. And the room smelled like pumpkin pie while we were making these projects.
It's that thing coming off. Look, it's turning into a peach color.
Here's a mushroom. That's interesting to see what it'll turn into. Here's some hearts in a mushroom. Look at this terrifying thing. A ship on the rough seas. I also think I fully decided to just stick to welding in my shop and being a substitute teacher here, because I am not into having to follow IEPs, informative assessments, and summative assessments, making sure that the kids get tested and that I get tested, and having like 0 transition times between blocks and classes. I can just show up as a glorified babysitter and make these kids happy and be an adult in their life who makes them smile once in a while and does some fun finger painting and artwork projects with them. I'm fully remembering why I didn't last long in the public teaching system, and it's not that I don't love the teaching and love the kids, it's like all of the extra stuff the teachers do. All the extras. If you haven't spent time in a school, you don't know how much the teachers do, and I'm here to witness and testify, they do too much. I think there's too much rigor on elementary school kids. And even high school kids, as I remember, that was like 15 years ago. Like, we need rigor, but the kind of stuff I don't even know what I'm talking about. There's just some stuff that seems like too much pressure on these kids that isn't necessarily life skills, like super helpful. It's just showing that they can grind. I don't even know how to describe it. It's not like it's helping them academically, I guess making them smarter overall, but it's like a weird stress. I don't know what I'm trying to describe. It's a stress that kids shouldn't have. Do you know what I mean? Like if there's such a thing as a stress kids shouldn't have because it's not helping them become an adult except to put up with the stress of life, I think maybe we could be spending our time better. But I'm not an educator. I'm talking through my nose. I don't know. These kids had a lot of fun. They are a lot of fun.